what's up? Welcome back to another YouTube video and welcome back to the channel. And we got part two, or more really a 10,000 mile test review of the Mega Cab. Last video you saw in part one, we just started it up, didn't even have a hood on it. Took it on a little night cruise just down the road and came back with it. But now due to some life events and just being busy in the background, kind of had to step away from the channel and creating new content, but now we're back at it. We're going to be pumping out the videos, and we want to start with this one. This is what the channel's been centered around. So part two, let's get into it. We're going to go over a startup. We're going to go over the full specs of the build. We're going to pop the hood, look at it, go over the interior detail, and then kind of look at the exhaust setup. When you saw it last, it only had a 5-inch straight pipe. It has something different now. We're also going to get a GoPro footage of driving it down the road. So you can get that good sound, that 2G swap 5-inch straight pipe sound. Honestly, it sounds really good. Some more videos to come out for that while towing, and then also under some more test conditions. So that's what's in store for today. She looks amazing right here. We're gonna go ahead and pop the hood, get some good shots of that, and kind of go over the build from the top down. Helps when you got a cameraman, or really camera mom. So diving deeper under the hood, let's just start from the top down. Super easy to see that we have a D&J valve cover. And under this is the 625 head studs from ARP that hold all the boost pressure. With the plans for the truck, that's later on, you know, we're adding injectors. We want to add a CP3. Keep the same turbo because the plans for the truck, that turbo can support the horsepower goals. But we got to have head studs that will hold all the boost. Still a factory valve train in terms of push springs and push rods, but that will come later when we add fuel to it. This is a smedding, which doesn't have smedding on it because there's a casting error. They forgot the M. So this is just a intake horn, if we want to call it that. That eliminates the factory intake elbow. And then we got a shiny intake plenum from Spedding as well, if you can see under there. All billet. So she looks good. It kind of completes the raw look of the intake horn to the billet valve cover to the billet intake to the raw intake housing on the turbo. From there, we come over to this side of the engine. So this is the intake side. Last detail I wanted to touch on this. I'll get a better video of it and show some engine bay shots, but we went ahead and deleted the factory fuel bowl. We did the fleece distribution block that kind of takes care of all that. So we clean up this side of the engine bay and everything looks really nice over here. Getting over here is where all the fun happens. This kit is from Keaton Samples, which is Samples Performance Fab. Find them on Facebook. Definitely not the cheapest, but in my opinion, highest quality, great customer service. This video is coming out a little bit after UCC. So he actually did all the fab work on Michael Brown's truck, the big, the white one that ended up blowing a entire intercooler piping through his fiberglass hood. So people that watch that, you'll know. Looking at the turbo, this is a GT42. It's a 70 compressor wheel, an 85 turbine wheel, and a 105 housing. And then we have a turbo blanket. And then with the high mount kit, that everything kind of bolted up perfectly. We did get pretty close to this this wiring harness. So we reran the wire loom, got everything good to go. And the inner workings of the kit, all the coolant hardware and all the block off plugs for the kit, they matched up perfectly. So that was super simple as well. The last piece that you already saw is the Steed-Speed manifold T4 in the flipped up position. And really what that allows is kind of the best sounding engine exhaust note as well. So didn't want to cheap out on that either. So this is kind of the best parts that I know to go with. Really a lot of people that are building this exact same setup uses the same exact parts. D&J valve cover has been excellent in terms of not having to run a catch can. The baffle inside of it is magnificent. Looking over everything else under the hood is basically factory. So the AC lines remain the same. The coolant tank remained the same right here. Still have both batteries in the truck and everything looks good. The only other thing that we had to go over is I added a EGT gauge. Went ahead and drilled and tapped the manifold for that. We have an Edge CTS. We'll hop inside the cab, kind of look at that. And then only thing left under the hood is our wiring for our lift pump, which is underneath the truck. So that'll go over the engine bay. We'll start this thing up. Just wanted to give a full overview of the truck and everything that has been done to it. I know that I chopped up the videos in a build sequence, but this one I want to tie everything back together so you get one good video. If you want to copy this build, reach out, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead, hop inside the cab. So remember, it is a limited. We went over the truck intro video. So still clean, still only drive it when I want to because I do have a daily driver. But really the biggest thing is we went ahead and did EFI Live as well. It is a 4-position switch because it's a 2013 to 2018. So that was mounted right there. That's not bad. It's a 2017, so you don't have to have the bypass cable. Let me just click this on so you can see the CTS 3 come on. And this mounting bracket is fantastic. I got this off XDP. I forget the brand that makes this, but everything looks really, really good. It's super clean, matches the black limited interior with the factory headliner. Let me go ahead and kill this off. Roger Krieger is playing. That's a cover though. And then we'll click this on. So let it do its thing. And those are the gauges that we have. So we'll monitor those when we take it on a test drive. But this is the PID selection that I like. That gives me the most relevant information for the build setup that I have. Other than that, then that's kind of it for the interior. Still a super clean limited truck. So we'll take a look at the lift pump underneath, how much I removed from the underneath of the truck. Took the DEF tank out along with the bracket that holds it, and then tucked up everything in terms of all the wires that you don't need to run anymore for your DPF and all the electrical plugins. So let's hop under there. We'll take a good look at it, and then we'll get a start up. I'll switch to the GoPro, and we'll start test driving the truck and letting y'all see what it's all about. Here we are underneath the truck. Here is the Air Dog. It's a 165. Didn't really get to see this installed as some of the video I lost in the mix of things. So this was not part of the build, but mounted super easily. You have a sandwich plate right there, and then it just kind of bolts to that. You can kind of see the dirtiness of it. Truck does have 10,000 miles since we did all this to it. It gives me an opportunity to leave a review based on real life experiences. And then under here, we did do the sump. Here's our 2 hoses for turn and draw. And that is about it down here. There's our 5-inch exhaust going all the way back. We'll go to the other side of the truck and look. I'm not a big fan of laying in grass, but want to get this all in one video before it gets too dark. One thing I did forget to mention is we don't have a full 4-inch downpipe. We have that WC Fab, basically mid pipe that bolts into the factory 5-inch exhaust location. So I don't know what that does in terms of exactly sound performance. I'll let you be the judge of that when we get sound clips for it. But it did make it pretty easy to install 5-inch as far as up to the turbo as possible. You can't really see it from up here. The turbo blanket kind of blocks a lot. But I'll crawl into there and kind of get a good view of what it looks as a finished product, because that's also another part of the build series that we were not able to get on footage. Unfortunately, some of this stuff got jumbled and mixed up. But coming around here, you can still see factory suspension. Have not touched that yet, but come back here to the exhaust. Some of y'all are gonna hate it. Some of y'all are gonna love it. I like it. Some of y'all are not gonna like that I don't have a spare under there, but we do have a 5-inch axle dump to an 8-inch tip. And the best way to show you is just go ahead and let y'all take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it in half zoom. There's what it looks like fully underneath the truck. It's straight down, pointed to the ground, kind of at about a 45-degree angle. But some of this is really gonna piss off some viewers. Some people are gonna like it, but I think when you realize what the truck sounds like for a 2G swap 6.7, it's gonna put a smile on your face, because I know it does every time that I drive it. So really, there's nothing else left to do but to hop in, start it, and get sound clips, and then I'll give you some kind of initial reaction. Well, really not initial reaction, but some pointers and noticeable differences in the truck from a factory to the build setup that we have right now. The GoPro has way better microphones on it, so we're going to use that for a sound clip for basically everything we do with the truck. iPhone just has really good stabilization and better low light settings. Time to fire it up. We got the camera, the GoPro in the back, and then we're gonna use the iPhone camera up here, and let's go. car's idling, quiet up here. Sounds like any normal 6.7, 18 and older, so 07.5 to 18. As it does have your flat tapping design, but idle's super smooth. No real big concern on this. I'm gonna give it a couple engine revs, and then we'll take it for a test drive. Those engine revs, but that was about 3,500 RPMs, just flipping the throttle. Like I said, I do have factory valve train on it, so I don't want to hit 5,000. And I've never tested the tune to see if it has a hard limiter. But let's check out the footage from the GoPro, and we'll catch up with you in the cab. All right, here's our setup for the sound. We're just gonna point it kind of here, and then get a good hyper view, so it's gonna look like a fish bubble, but it's gonna give you a good little scenic look where we're going. And then I'll chop this up, find the good parts, some half throttle pulls, and we'll do some commentary inside the cab as this is rolling footage as well. All right guys, so we're in the truck. We're just out here on the back road, but before we get started, I wanted to look at this real quick and go ahead and look at our backup camera. In our backup camera, you can see our GoPro right here in the corner. So if it falls off, at least we can check, see where it went. But here we are in the truck, drives fantastic. Last time you saw it, I was doing like just a quarter throttle just to feel the truck, just kind of hear it. You could hear it really well in terms of the engine bay because we didn't have the hood on it, remember? But now we get to drive it. I get to lean on it a little bit, have some fun with it. I know that it's not going anywhere. For the 10,000 miles that we've been driving it, I've only had one issue, and that one issue was I did a burnout. We won't do a burnout in this video, but that's coming up. Did a burnout, and I ended up blowing the cooler riser hose that goes into the block. I blew that out because it's just a push bar fitting, and I forgot to put the hose clamp on it. That's okay, but we're just gonna go get some general driving. We're gonna go out on a smooth road and do some, not full throttle pulls, but we'll get up there a little bit, and I'll give you some initial reaction and go from there. This is just normal driving. We're just gonna take the back road out onto one of the farm to markets, and this is, like I said earlier in the video, we got engine coolant, boost pressure, that's a big one. This only goes up to 37 PSI because that's what the factory max PSI rating is for the boost gauge. So we got something else to help fix that as well. Then we have fuel rail pressure. It measures in kPSI, so that's really 8,000, 9,000. Low to the engine, I just kind of like seeing that number. EGT, that's where our exhaust, or our EGT probe is in the exhaust manifold. Line pressure is our transmission pressure, and then we also have our transmission temp. Those are two very important ones because with the 68 RFE, with what kind of power we have, we need to try to make it last. Think about doing a valve body before we go ahead and get a fully built one. and then we have battery voltage, and then our circular gauges is our RPM, and then our torque converter lock, or really what gear we're in. And that's really the best PID selection that I have. So we're gonna go ahead and get on the road, and this will be kind of a just normal driving. And there's Dad passing us in the 2022 Mega Cab. He needs to do the exact same thing this truck has done to it, and maybe we'll race. We can get spool right here. We're already hitting 15 pounds by 2000. That's really right where this turbo kind of holds its breath until 1900, and then from there you can feel it take off. It is a 70 millimeter. I'm okay with that. I'm not using the truck for towing the entire time, and some people will call it laggy. If you're always pulling 20,000 pounds, I would agree with you. If you're always driving it empty like I am most of the time, then it's fun to have the higher RPM range of power. But this is what we're locked in 6. We're running 1500 RPMs. EGTs are about 763. I let my foot off the throttle, so they're dropping. Apply it again. Really, let's say between 700 and 750. Just cruising at 68 miles an hour. This road is pretty terrible, so we'll cut the video here. Before we look at the GoPro footage of that last pull, fair warning, the camera did drop down on the swivel, so you're gonna be staring at the asphalt, but it does a good job of showing you what it sounds like, and the pavement passing by. Much better road. This is the same road that we took the second gen out when we first tuned it with the quad box. So we are in third gear. I am going to get it to drop into second. No one's behind us. Let's see here. Come on, go into second. There, we're in first. All right, so we're just gonna do 50 to 60% throttle. That's that 5-inch exhaust with the high mount manifold that kind of just, but here's triple digits just driving normally. I can take my hand off the wheel. Right now when I back it off, we're still running about, I'd say 800 to mid 800 EGTs, 2000 RPMs. The truck is dialed in, it's fun to drive, and honestly I love it. That was just a half throttle pull. I'm still a little hesitant to do a full throttle pull, given that I might drop a gear in terms of blowing the 68 up. It does make a lot of power. That is tuned 4. If we want to talk about tuning, I run tuned 4 for the best fuel mileage that you can. We're just gonna go down here, turn around. I'll stitch this with the sound clip. It sounded really good. That was through all 6 gears. second gear right now. I'm going to use the tap shift. That was the transmission tuning doing its own thing. It actually stays in the power band really well. I'm just going to run it a little bit higher RPM and give it a little more throttle using the tap shift. So let's go ahead and start. 3, 2, 1, in second. Let's go. That's about 80% throttle. She likes to shit and get. I got out of it in 5th gear. We hovered around, I think, 3,000 to 3,700. And what'd you think about that? Did it pull you back in the seat a little bit? I don't think you've ever sat in the truck when I've done a pull like that. So, all right.
It's better when I don't know how fast the speedometer is saying and I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Gives you a good idea of what the truck feels like, what it looks like, and what it sounds like back there. So that's gonna be kind of it for this video. I know it was kind of a front-loaded video. Y'all want to see more of this style video of sound clip and test driving, or maybe just a pure sound clip of me driving for 15 minutes to get the full RPM range, shifting through gears, then let me know in the comments. This one was a fun one to make. We kind of did it with a little bit of daylight left, so hopefully the video quality is good. Hopefully well, let's check and see if our camera is still back there. Wrong cargo view. Yep, so we're right there. I wonder if it's pointing down at the ground now, because it was flipped up when I did that. We're gonna pull over to the side and it may just be pointing straight at the ground. Alright guys, so appreciate you watching this video. This is a fun one to make. As I said, kind of some different clips. I'm trying to stitch everything together to give y'all a good idea, good understanding of when you do this to a 4th gen 2013 to 2018 model, then this is kind of what you get. Is it expensive? A little bit, yes, but these are the parts where you buy once, cry once with these type of trucks. You don't want to cheap out, and this is the route that I took. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video. There'll be more videos coming at you. We're gonna get back on some 2nd gen content. There is a little bit of event that happened with that, so stay tuned. There's a lot coming to the channel. Appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.